really opened the eyes to a lot of the anime community because she had cancer and she'd been voice acting all the way through to the end.
Who did she voice?
She did Sailor Starfighter for Sailor Moon Stars. She's also known for so many different other roles that unfortunately I had a list of them and then my computer crashed on me during the summer. So I do want to say, let's have a moment of silence for her because she was such a great inspiration to all voice actors everywhere.
What was that?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, how the hell is everyone doing tonight, huh?
Sailor Moon fans, too. There's all of us.
I know it's early, but I know you guys can be louder than that.
Come on, come on! All right, guys, welcome to the first ever Sailor Moon 20th anniversary panel. I am Tony Lewis,
I'm Mariah.
And I'm Lizzie.
and basically we got into Sailor Moon by basically, well, me first, I basically started getting Sailor Moon thanks to Tsunami as one of the first anime series I actually watched.
First time I saw Sailor Moon was actually in a French classroom. We were actually watching it in French because my French teacher could not find a series that we could get into that was French. So she saw Sailor Moon and said, oh, let's just put this in, and we ended up getting addicted.
Yeah, the first time I watched Sailor Moon was actually while I was stationed over in Japan. A friend of mine on the boat basically said, here, I'm getting Sailor Moon, do you want to watch on your iPod? It keeps you busy during train rides, trust me.
Okay, guys, here's what we're going to be coming to today in our 20th anniversary panel. We're going to be covering the history of Sailor Moon symbolism and mythology with you. How has Sailor Moon influenced the anime community and pop culture? This is a discussion session, and it's also a brief Q&A session.
It's where you get all your fan servicing and think, how did this happen?
Yeah, and a Sailor Moon trivia and giveaways. We have lovely stuff that I can give away.
Yep, they're right in front, right over here. The only thing that's not giving away is the bag.
And another thing, guys, we do have something we like to call the Sailor Moon Merchandise Museum or the Fan Museum.
Fan Museum is actually a compilation of everything we love about Sailor Moon. We have a wall scroll that was actually donated was given to me by my mother. You will not see this one again. You can take pictures of it. It is one of the few wall scrolls that actually is not cloth. It's actually rice paper. And it's very rare. The reason why it's rare, it has the magical universe of Deke on the bottom and has not been seen in years. It's also been in my closet for a long time. That's okay. A lot of the dolls you'll see. The doll with Japan, from Japan, is Sailor Uranus. I got her as a gift also. Actually, it was my mom gave me money, said buy whatever you want and don't think anything twice about it. I haven't regretted it since.
Okay, and to conclude our panel today, guys, we have a special treat to show you guys, but we'll reveal that after everything is through.
Yes.
Now, guys, first thing we're going to do is Sailor Moon terminology. This is something for all our new fans, and some of these for your old parts to refresh on, which is me, you guys, and yeah. Okay, first off, the Sailor Senshi. How many of you guys know what the term Sailor Senshi is? Some of you, okay. What a Sailor Senshi is, these are the real names of the Sailor Scouts. It translates as Sailor Soldiers or Sailor Guardians. Bishoujo Senshi Sailor Moon. This is the original title of Sailor Moon in Japan. It translates as Pretty Guardian or Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon. And the lovely Miss Lizzie is showing the use of poster boards of
Visual aid.
Yeah, visual aid.
Inner senshi, outer senshi.
There you go. First off, the Dark Kingdom arcs. The Dark Kingdom is basically the main antagonist of Sailor Moon in Season 1. ruled by Queen Beryl and their generals Jedi, Nephrite, or Nephlite in the deep dub. Zoisite, or, okay, here's the thing about Zoisite, guys. In the original version, Zoisite's a guy.
Who's in love with Kunzite?
It's a homosexual relationship. But thanks to the deep dub,
They turned her into a woman.
yes.
Or rather him into
Oh, and another thing about Nephrite, guys, the R and L thing, basically.
yeah. For what was it, Malachite and Kunzite?
Okay, and Kunzite or Malachite in the Deep dub, and they're commonly known as the Nega Force in the Deep version.
They were also the main antagonists for the live-action series, where their appearances, especially for the Shiteno or the four generals, were greatly changed.
We got
And sorry, yeah, apologize. We finally have our lovely production team.
yeah, so we can show some examples.
Okay, and
Are they really the best that are
Yes, they were.
okay, and Queen Beryl's goal was to collect energy to awaken the ruler, Queen Metallica, using the energy of humans and the power of the silver crystal to conquer the universe. And in the dub, it was to use the power of the Negaverse to conquer the universe. And one other note, guys, Nega anything was not in any of the original series, only in the crappy Geek version. And yeah.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon R, the R series, the second season of the anime, featured the Doom Tree arc and the Crystal Tokyo arc of the story. Known as Sailor Moon R, the R Super Rabbit. Well, yeah. Yeah, the Doom Tree arc wasn't really something in the manga, but
It was a 13-episode arc, basically set aside for Naoko to write or begin to write arc.
but we'll get more to that later.
Yeah.
And this was also the last dub season with Deke. The S series, the third season of the anime dubbed by Cloverboy after Deke gave up the dub rights. It featured the Death Busters arc of the story known as Sailor Moon S. The S stood for Super. This thing was a little bit controversial due to the show's lesbian relations with two of the new Sailor Senshi, Sailor Uranus / Haruka, aka Amara, in the dub, and Sailor Neptune, Michiru, aka Michelle, in the dub. Cloverboy would edit this by instead showing the two as cousins rather than lovers. And the Death Busters in the dub were changed to negative forces. What the hell
And
is
the
that?
Bureau of Bad Behavior was a secondary nickname.
Thank you, Cloverway. And Super S. Super S was the fourth season of Sailor Moon and the final season of the dub version. It featured the Dream arc of the Dream arc, and it was basically the most hated series among the fan base. Due to it being too cutesy, too childlike, and due to it focusing more on Chibi-Usa or reading in the dub. And the last series, the fifth series, Sailor Stars. Some of you might not have even heard of Sailor Stars before. Sailor Stars is the fifth and final season of Sailor Moon, the only series not to be dubbed in the United States. One of the darkest but most favorite series of the five by the majority of the fan base. It's not an urban myth, but we'll get more to that later on. Deke. Pretty much a lot of you know the Deke arc. Deke are a Disney-owned cartoon company that was known for shows like Inspector Gadget and Captain Planet. Everyone knows about that. They were the main company that first dubbed Sailor Moon. And Cloverway, the anime dubbing company in the United States, that's the U.S. branch of Toei, who picked up the dubbing rights of Sailor Moon and Deke after Deke gave us dub rights. They dubbed Sailor Moon S and Super S in North America. They also did the dubbing for Cardcaptor Sakura along with Nelvana and distributed the Dragon Ball Z dub. And lastly, guys, Naoko Takeuchi, who pretty much most of us know. Naoko Takeuchi is a known anime success story. Born on March 15, 1967, she is the mangaka who created Sailor Moon and helped make it one of the most famous and most successful anime series we all know today. Not only was she a known mangaka, she also enjoyed art, astronomy, and studied math and economics before working on manga full time. She made several short shoujo manga series from It's Not a Dream Right, Love Call, and the Trinity Project before starting Sailor V and Sailor Moon. She would then write stories for Sailor Mew or the Sailor Moon musical, but we'll get more into that later on. Help in making the GS7 in 2003, or Pretty Darn Sailor Moon. She currently lives with her husband, mangaka Yoshihiro Togashi, who is the creator of the well-known shonen manga Yu Yu Hakusho. And she also lives with her son, too. Now, guys, let's get into Sailor Moon history.
Oh boy, this is gonna be fun.
Oh, yes.
Sailor Moon aired in February of
Okay,
1992. It was previously in a girl's comic book. It was a comic book called Nakoyashi and was published by Kodansha. When the anime first came out, it was mixed.
Yeah, it was a mixed. The anime was created by Okay, originally Sailor V was going to become the anime itself before show essentially Sailor V. Okay, show Sailor V. Originally Sailor V was going to be the anime itself before actually Sailor Moon was created. It was going to be called Shoujo Senshi Sailor V. Before Sailor Moon was proposed by Kodansha and Takeuchi. The idea of Sailor Moon began when Nako was inspired by Sentai shows that she enjoyed, like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Taking that idea and incorporating her Sailor V story, created a Power Rangers for Girls idea with 5 girls, rather than one that's created the series we all know as today. A note, Nako Takeuchi originally planned Sailor Moon to end on season 1 originally. But with its quick and rapid success, Kodansha proposed to Nako to create a second series, which would be the R series. However, the anime moves faster than the manga. With that, Toei made the first 13 episodes themselves to catch up with the manga, which was the first of many moves that Nako Takeuchi was pleased with Toei. Due to both the manga and the anime success, she was originally overworked to the point one time she nearly went mad and wanted to quit during the R series. But, yeah, she did. But thanks to her editor, Kumi Osana, or aka Ilsa P, taught her to basically continue on. She was taught to do it not just for the professionalism or for tremendous financially, it's for all the fans. Sailor Moon would end in February 1997 in Japan, 5 years after it was created with Sailor Moon, Sailor Stars, and the Sailor Moon manga was completed like 1 month after the anime and 3 months after it was Sailor V. It spawned 200 episodes, 18 manga volumes, 3 movies, and many specials, thus becoming the longest running magical girl series. And among the success of the anime, Sailor Moon was made into a live-action musical, popularly known as Sailor Moyo, same thing. Among fans in the summer of 1993, it was also known as Sailor musical. It spawned 12 years of shows featuring original stories, the stories based on the anime, as well as a live-action stage show that included special effects, such as pyrotechnics, lasers, etc., etc. Great costume work and musical numbers. It took a hiatus in 2005. Since then, no new Sailor Moon shows were made. Now, let's talk about the musicals, guys, shall we?
Okay. Most of the musicals centered around most of the story, most of the character development. You end up with Usagi and Mamoru taking a vacation with the rest of the Sailor Soldiers. There's one where they take a cruise, and there's another one where they ended up in Transylvania. We don't know why they ended up in Transylvania. A lot of it had very catchy music. Americans actually started liking it. Unfortunately, the subtitling cannot keep up with the singing. I actually saw my first ceremonial on YouTube when YouTube first came out, and they subtitled it so badly. I'm sitting there going, "What is that?
Hell is that?"
Was that English or was that French?
Okay, guys, we actually have a few clips we want to show you about the Sailor Moon musicals if you guys have not seen it yet. First one is the Sailor Moon Best on the Moon Part 1. It's from the very first musical.
Click it again.
I think it's gonna take a little.
We get dim the lights a little.
Dim the lights a little.
Can't quite see it, and I don't think we're getting an image on there.
No,
We're gonna have to click it again.
it's gonna take a little bit because it's real clear.
Real players evil.
Next time I remember to find myself not to use that thing.
I'm using this one here.
And I do not have audio.
Again?
We have no audio.
Sorry guys, technical difficulties we usually have tonight. Comes with the turn we're doing these things.
When Sarah Mario came out, they had when Sarah Mario first came out, the first show was not white. Then the second show got more and more famous. Then we had all the way up to 20 shows, and each plot so different from the next. You don't know it. It actually went from like books, movies, everything.
Okay, now here is the audio now.
Still not.
Also, it was due to the success of Sailor Mew that the creation of Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, the live-action drama, was actually brought into being, even spawning a musical of its own. Special event done in 2004, basically in the middle of the series. It showcased the Senshi, provided a small storyline. It even gave you basically the plot of the Shiteno trying to steal the audience's energy and make it a very intriguing and kind of comical interaction with the audience.
Yes, audience participation was well valued. Even in the shows, even in Ceremonial, it was very customary to have the audience participate. Audience participation in most of the plays in Japan are mandatory. You actually, there's one play that they did where you guessed who died next. I think that
It's
was
basically your typical murder mystery.
yeah, or who stole blood energy.
And the, especially Kirari Super Live and I would guess a bunch of the other Sailor Mew ones were also very big on sometimes fourth wall breaking.
Come on then, guys.
Kirari Sailor Live even said at one point, well, that's what the script says for next episode. Why are you here?
Okay, try it now.
Right, one more time. You got it.
Let's see if I can actually get it. So wait, I have the soundtrack on.
For Sailor Mew?
Yeah. Sweet. Now it's working.
Now it's working.
Yes.
Now we finally get to hear the sound, guys.
Which is,
Just really quiet.
I think it's just, yeah. Let's see if I can get the,
Okay,
Sure.
okay, the next part, guys,
Well, we're trying to fix the,
bad cable.
please.
Sorry about it, ladies and gentlemen. Go back, let's go to the next part. You know, have it really quick.
Yeah, I only have major rank.
Okay, the next part, guys, Sailor Moon and North American Shores began to take form in the early 90s. Then it was first proposed by Tune Makers Incorporated.
Oh dear.
But the proposal was a bad live action series mixed with cartoon scenes as the action scenes rather than using scenes from the anime. However, that proposal thankfully never came to be.
Yeah.
After winning their war with two makers, Deke would soon get the licensing of Sailor Moon and would dub it as we all know infamously today. And
Yes,
I unfortunately have that actual clip they were going to
so
propose.
proudly displaying on YouTube at one time.
And
I think it's a.
How many live action shows?
They only made total like drama type shows, one. It was a 49 episode series, 3 episode zeros, 1 special act, and Kirari Super Live.
Here it is. The single or.
Single worst example of what Sailor Moon could have been.
And we apologize to harm in your eyes.
or your ears, or wherever. Yeah.
Yes, that was Luna.
And one of the Sailor soldiers were actually in a wheelchair. One of them was African American too. Which was Sailor Mercury.
This was.
It was going to be a mixture of live action and animated sequences that was proposed and very quickly
Yes.
And you would get this crap.
We apologize.
Do we need a doctor? Is there a doctor in the house?
Oh my god. Did I just see that?
Yes, you just seen it.
It looks like a bad 80s cartoon.
Yes.
I said it looked like Blossom got animation attached to it.
I think it was supposed to be Sailor Jupiter. Sorry, Jupiter.
It's bad.
They did.
Actually, they did get sued. Saban actually faced a copyright infringement lawsuit because of this. And so, Saban, rather than facing the lawsuit, annexed the series and never brought it up again. Except for this making a piece of poor travesty. Someone lost their job.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was going to be Sailor Moon. Thank God it didn't happen.
Yes.
That's awful.
Yes, they
Yes,
know.
that thing was. Say no to tune makers. Now just get this. Right now. If you guys want to see some Sailor Moon videos, there's a whole bunch of, there's one person actually I know that does the full shows of Sailor Moon. His name on her YouTube is Sailor War Supreme. I recommend go on YouTube and find Sailor War Supreme now. The dub began airing in 1995. Canadian and Australian audiences' ratings were quite high. But I think ratings tanked due to its early morning time slot of 6 a.m. or earlier.
Eventually being moved to the afternoon thanks to everyone's favorite thing,
Tsunami.
Tsunami!
Outrage was made among fans of the anime due to it being heavily edited due to questionable content, skipping episodes due to said content, and also focusing on the main story only than the other episodes that was part of the story, and editing kanji due to wanting to becoming more Americanized.
Which is horribly ironic now since the complaint with a lot of more recent animes is its overuse of filler.
And also, along with changing names of some of the characters and some of the genders. And Deke episode 65, after that, episode 65, or Japanese episode 72, Deke discontinued its dub to defunct, but thanks to sponsors including the makers of the Sailor Moon dolls, Girl and Toys, and the last 17 episodes which would be the conclusion of the Sailor Moon R series would be dubbed by Deke. It would then be known at the time as the last episode on Tsunami. Global Weight would then take the reins of Sailor Moon as the Super Sub in 2000. Note, Global Weight was the only company who did not heavily edit Sailor Moon, unlike me. Global Weight only edited Sailor Moon and on the TV version of it, he has Super SS on Tsunami. However, when they released the SS Super on DVD, thanks to Union or Pioneer at the time, it was unedited and bilingual. Global Weight did that to be as close as the original Japanese version as possible, as well as adjusting the episode numbers to match the list of a.
Did they still make Fish Eye a girl?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
That was the one last gender swapping you will ever see in Sailor Moon.
Well, the Sailor Stars, like, are they really both?
Yes, they are.
The Sailor Stars, it depends on the medium.
Okay, in 1997, Cartoon Network Tsunami block debuts and shows Sailor Moon on its block, along with debuting the S and Super S series in 2000. It helped usher in the 90th era of anime fandom along with Tenchi, Dragon Ball Z, and Pokemon. Later, Sailor Moon would be canceled in July 2002. Also in 1997, Mix Entertainment, later known as the time Tokyo Pop, began English translations of the manga version of Sailor Moon. The manga would later go out print in 2005. 2001, Sailor Moon celebrates its 10th anniversary of the manga with a special festival featuring Sailor Moon performances, Kigurumi performances, which is basically what you get when you have fursuiters mixed with cosplay. That's why Kigurumi performance is. Concerts and screenings of Sailor Moon horror movies. The festival was shown in Nagoya, Sendai, Osaka, Tokyo, and Fukuoka prefectures respectively. In 2003, in Japan, Sailor Moon would be made into a live-action series known as Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, or probably known in the fandom as PGSF. Creator Mako Takeuchi would have a large hand-in-handling series. A live-action series concert was also made as both PGSF. The series lasted 49 episodes and featured 2 DVD movies with backstory of Tuxedo Mask, Sailor V, and a short that featured what happened to Mamoru's ex-fiancée. So Miyu played Usagi Tsukino, aka Sailor Moon, and the original voice of Luna Keiko Han, who also played the voice of King Beryl in the Japanese version. And she basically returned to reprise her original role as Luna. And Lizzie, you want to show us some stuff about BGSM?
Well, let's start with the intro. Am I getting sound? Hold up. There we go here.
And we have the Sound Wars.
Sound Wars!
Give me 1 second to see if this works. Oh, that's my sound.
Fail.
Oh, I know what's wrong. I know what's wrong.
1 second, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, never had a previous fiance?
It's
Mamoru had a fiance in the PGSM. I'm not getting sound still.
The soundtrack is actually pretty good.
It's good death. Professor Howard. The blue screen of death? Oh god. I got that.
My apologies for the
Technical difficulties, I need to apologize.
It happens in pounds, folks. We've been going pounds as long as I have.
It's been going on in mine for years. If you ever go to my mythology panel, I always have an argument with that.
It's like the camera's on the side shot. Wow. Where's our sound guy? Right there.